If you watched my video on natural induction methods, you'll know that castor oil is a popular option to get things going with some really great evidence that backs up its efficacy. If you've passed your due date and you're facing medical induction, or maybe you're just so over being pregnant, I've been there, this video will help you decide whether castor oil induction is right for you. Hi, I'm Ashley and I'm a doula, a birth photographer and a childbirth educator in the Greater Toronto area, and I'm extremely passionate about informed and empowered birth. Make sure you subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any tips, tricks, and advice to get the birth experience that you want. Okay, first a disclaimer about using castor oil. I highly recommend and encourage you to discuss any natural induction methods with your healthcare provider before trying anything, because they will be able to guide you on what is safest for you based on your personal health history. So keep that in mind. Anecdotally, as a doula, I have seen castor oil do what it was intended to do numerous times, and I've even used it myself with success. But in all instances, the healthcare provider was on board with trying it. So it's really super important that you get their go-ahead first. Before I get into the process and recipe for the Midwives Brew, I wanted to go through some stats on the use of castor oil to induce labor, because it's always important to have evidence-based information whenever you're making a decision about your health. There have been numerous studies that look at how effective castor oil is, and overwhelmingly the numbers are pretty good in favor of labor induction for pregnant people who are at term or beyond. Remember that with any induction method, if your body and your baby isn't ready, it really ain't happening, at least not easily. So keep that in mind with any induction, whether it's natural or medical. So 2 studies of note showed that 54% and 58% of pregnant people that took castor oil went into labor within 24 hours of taking it, compared to 4% of the group that had no castor oil. Another study showed that the odds of entering active labor within 12 hours of taking castor oil was actually 3 times higher than those who did not take it. Now, it's important to note that these studies were small, and definitely it would be great to have larger studies conducted to get a really clear idea of just how effective castor oil is in inducing labor. Okay, so how does it work? We believe that it works by stimulating or irritating the bowels, which in turn stimulates the uterus into contractions. There are side effects, the most common ones being nausea and diarrhea. In fact, 100% of the pregnant people in the studies I mentioned before experienced nausea. However, it is thought that by mixing the castor oil with the ingredients in the Midwives Brew, you can actually counteract some of those not so pleasant side effects. So the part you've probably been waiting for, which is the actual recipe for the Midwives Brew. You take 2 tablespoons of almond butter, 2 tablespoons of castor oil, 5 drops of lemon verbena oil, which is usually found in your health food store, half a cup of water, and half a cup of apricot nectar. Blend all of these ingredients together and drink this relatively quickly, usually within about half an hour if you can. If you find that it hasn't started to stimulate contractions, you can repeat this 5 hours later, but no more than 2 doses per day, and wait 48 hours before repeating if you don't find labor kickstarting. Now, my own personal experience with castor oil was a good one. I got the green light from my midwife when I was 41 weeks and facing a medical induction that I adamantly did not want. I drank the Midwives Brew after dinner, started to experience contractions that eventually tapered off. I took another dose around 1 a.m. and by 6 a.m. I was in early labor. By the evening, I was in active labor and I had my son around 10 p.m. that night, so just over 24 hours after taking the first dose. I did not experience any nausea or diarrhea. It did clear me out, but overall it was not unpleasant. It was basically what you would expect in early labor anyway. And in fact, I actually didn't mind the taste of it either because the almond butter and the apricot nectar hid the castor oil taste pretty well. So there you have it. If you are going to try the Midwives Brew, make sure to clear it with your healthcare provider beforehand. And don't forget to grab your printable birth affirmations from the link in the description so you can get into a great headspace before your birth. Or it will make for something fun to do while you're waiting for the castor oil to kick in. And if you're looking for more natural induction methods, be sure to check out 10 methods for natural induction. And who knows, you may find something else that works to kickstart your labor into gear. If you liked this video, hit that like button and be sure to subscribe and share with anyone in your life who is pregnant or a new parent. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the flip side.